Howdy, Broncos country. Mace here with three big things from Broncos training camp from the joint practice with the Arizona Cardinals. Number one, Bo Nix with his best day of training camp. And what a day to do it with another team in for a joint practice, probably right there with the 49ers practice, the most important day of the summer. Dealing with a lot of pressure because the Cardinals pass rush at times was pouring in through the Broncos protection. He was on point, stepping up in the pocket, spreading the ball around, getting it to plenty of receivers. Courtland Sutton, multiple catches. Marvin Mims Jr., a very good day on the receiving end of multiple targets. Devaughn, Vele involved. Pat Bryant involved, particularly in 7-on-7. Troy Franklin with some big catches. I mentioned Sutton earlier. He had a touchdown in the red zone period. So what we're seeing develop is a pick your poison attack. Bo Nix taking what's there. He's under duress, climbing the pocket, finding the open man, keeping this offense on schedule. Now, there weren't many lanes for the running backs, so yeah, that was a bit of a concern. I'll give the running backs credit for being decisive in their cuts, even though there often wasn't much there. But if you've got the passing game working like this, if Bo Nix is decisive like this in finding the open target, and we do know in this offense there's going to be an open target almost every play, then everything is going to flow from there. This was a terrific day for Bo Nix. I think if you were a little bit worried, kind of seeing some things in the preseason opener and maybe hearing some of the reports, I think maybe you should feel pretty settled, because despite an excellent Cardinal pass rush, Bo Nix on point, looking very much like the promising young quarterback that he was last year. Big thing number two, over on the defensive field, maybe not the best of days. Now, let's view this in the proper context. Vance Joseph mentioned on Wednesday how he was going to use this joint practice and joint practices in general and the preseason to try out some things to figure out what his defense could do. So when you know that, consider that when you've got Riley Moss often traveling with Marvin Harrison Jr. So when you see Arizona making some plays against the Broncos defense, kind of bear that in mind. That being said, Denver's defense locked down at the end, stopped the Cardinals in the move the ball 2-minute period at the end of practice. But that being said, Trey McBride, the wondrous young tight end for the Cardinals, a lot of UCSU Ram fans know him from what he did earlier this decade up in Fort Collins. He caused a lot of problems. There was one moment in practice, made 3 straight plays against the Broncos D. Probably today the best player for the Cardinals on that field. And so you saw George Kittle make some plays for the 49ers last week. So tight end's a little bit of a problem. That being said, Dre Greenlaw not on the field for the team period today. He was out there in individual period. So the Broncos still not at full strength at inside linebacker. We'll see how that looks against tight ends once Dre Greenlaw is out there. Some promising work, at least in terms of making a play on the ball for Jaquan McMillan. He did get beat, but he also had a pick off Kyler Murray. Also a nice play on the ball today from Jahdae Barron, so that's a promising moment as well. But Trey McBride is going to cause some problems, as Evan Ingram can attest.
Oh, I love him. Yeah. He plays super low. He plays so low. I told him that today. I saw some clips from him over camp, and you know, when you can play that low and have that speed and have that athleticism, you're going to be really hard to cover and really hard to tackle and bring down.
Big thing number 3, unfortunately, we've got to talk about injuries and absences. Garett Bolles left during the practice, but it looks like he's going to be fine. Matt Peart came in for him at left tackle. He's actually had a pretty good camp, although there were a couple of rough moments out there for him today, including one moment where he and Mike McGlinchey collided at one point and both hit the deck during a play. Nate Adkins looks like he's going to miss some time going into the regular season. Sean Payton talked about that.
Yeah, so we did a tightrope with Nate. We went back and forth. He had an ankle sprain. The benefit of the tightrope is it gives you a firm timeline, a consistent recovery. I don't want to give you a timeline on it, but he's going to miss some early portion of the season. That was done successfully, clean. There weren't any other things that they noticed, and it was a smart decision. That's a relatively new procedure if I said within the last 15 years. And the benefit of it is the predictability and you don't want to have a procedure done and then, well, we don't know when it's going to be back. And so from a medical standpoint, it's relatively new and effective.
So with Adkins out into the regular season, Drew Sanders out, looks like, into the regular season after surgery, those might be the two guys you see the Broncos put on recallable injured reserve when the cut to 53 happens. You can put two players on IR and they don't count to the 53 at the roster deadline. That's a change in the NFL bylaws this year. So look for that potentially to happen when the Broncos cut to 53 here in a little over a week and a half. Some other standouts we've got to mention. Jaleel McLaughlin, of the running backs today, probably he flashed the most. Had a really nice blitz pickup on Budda Baker in a team period. Also a nice catch and run, really decisive. Just got the ball, turned upfield, didn't dance. So pretty solid day for him in a crowded running back room. Rookie receiver Jerwan Newton, a really great catch from Sam Ehlinger down the sideline. We've seen that kind of spectacular catch from him before in double covers. Did the same thing today. And also Joaquin Davis, another undrafted rookie, making a really nice grab in the red zone. One of those plays where he just kind of plucks the ball and it sticks to his hands like Velcro. So the undrafted rookie receivers continuing to make an impression out here. There may be some tough cuts and tough decisions as the Broncos get down to 53 and determine that practice squad later on this month. Of course, the preseason game against the Cardinals on Saturday, don't expect many starters, including Bo Nix. Don't expect him to play. Don't expect to see the first team offensive line either, but do expect to see Bo Nix play briefly in New Orleans in the preseason finale. So after this second joint practice, Sean Payton changing up how he structures playing the starters in the preseason. We, of course, will have more on Orange and Blue today at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports YouTube channel and social channels. I'll be talking about it with Cecil Lammey, and I'll have plenty more coming at denversports.com. Until next time, take care. Thanks for watching.